What's going on, everybody? Austin Ariel here with another car review. This time I have something all new for 2021. By the looks of it, you already know what I'm talking about. This is the 2021 Lexus IS. This one in particular is gorgeous. I love this color. I love the interior. Just wait until you see it. And this thing is much more aggressive than the outgoing model, and I love that a lot. So today I'm going to take you through this 2021 Lexus IS, and I'm going to show you what it's all about. And I'm going to let you decide to see if this is actually a game changer. There's Ladybug on me. If this is a true game changer, or if this thing is still not modern enough to compete with the Germans. Let's take a look. I've borrowed this Lexus from Hennessy Lexus right here in technically Doraville, Georgia, but it could be considered Atlanta depending on where you live here in the Atlanta metro area. So I'm going to link them in the description below. That way you can see their whole inventory, including Lexus ISs, which are incredibly hard to get right now. So I'm very thankful that I was able to get my hands on one of these. So in saying that, I'm very appreciative. Now, if you guys don't already follow my Instagram, I'm gonna give the link for that below. Also, hit the subscribe button. That way you're up to date on everything that I release. And then on top of that, if you're already subscribed, thank you guys for the support. Let's get back to the review. So starting off with the front end of the Lexus IS, this is a new front end, technically a whole new car that Lexus has released for the 2021 model year. This is more of an update rather than an all new generation. However, the styling is definitely more aggressive in this department. So for one, no longer do you have that split headlight design. They've actually combined it all in one here. You do have a full LED headlight system. Your high beams and your low beams are going to be full LED. Your indicators are actually going to be incandescent bulbs. I'm kind of interested in why they left that like that, but you do have your LED running light up here, and it looks very sharp, very angular. Over here, you are going to have your air curtains here. It's actually kind of really small, but I can't tell if it's actually open or functional. It's really, really tiny. I wish I could tell you guys, but I really can't tell. From this angle, it looks like it is an open slot. Don't hold me to that. But this is an F Sport model, so with that, you do get a more aggressive fascia up here. You do have these gloss black accents. These are going to be fake vents here. This actual main piece, what I was talking about earlier, was this little slit here. In addition to that, you do have this huge gloss black grille, very imposing, like all Lexus models. Kind of looks like Darth Vader in a way, but overall, the gloss black that surrounds the grille, in addition to the main grille part itself, looks very cool. I think it looks very aggressive, but for the changes that they made to the fascia, I do think it works in this iteration. I think prior it kind of looked overstyled, but now the rest of the car matches the grille, and I think that's very important for Lexus as a brand. Of course, you do have your front radar detector here that's actually built into the Lexus emblem, which is nice. And then in addition to that, these areas are huge air pockets. Huge air pockets. I'm talking, these are massive. Those are functional. And the top part of the grille here and the bottom part is actually going to be open as well. This middle area, solid piece, but it makes sense because for one, you got the radar detector / emblem, but you also have front parking sensors built into the grille, in addition to some that are actually paint matched here on the grille as well, or not grille, but front bumper. In addition to that, you notice the hood is a little bit more bulging now. The engine, not too much has changed there. I'll go over the engine a little bit, but overall, I think the front is a really good design. Let's go ahead and talk about the wheels. These are F Sport wheels. They are this black chrome finish that look really, really nice. These are going to be wrapped in a 235 width tire. These are Potenzas. 40 series sidewall. You do have a 19-inch wheel on here. Very fitting for a car of this nature, but it also does look really, really cool. I think the wheel matches the exterior. Very angular, but it's not overstyled, which is actually surprising because the rest of the car is incredibly aggressive. So they went a little mellow on the wheel set here, but I still think it does look pretty good. And as you can see, pollen is in the air here in Georgia. Not fun at all. Really quick, I do want to point out the whole side profile of the car and just look how many angles there are. You got this swoosh that goes into the wheel for the back wheel there. You've got the angles that go all the way across the back here. I mean, the whole car is just incredibly styled. It's crazy the lengths that they went to style this car. So taking a look at the back of the all-new 2021 Lexus IS. So this is an IS350 F Sport, so you do have F Sport badging here in a satin metallic finish there, and you do have the IS350 badging here in chrome. You do have this full LED light bar that goes all the way across, and something I find interesting is the fact that the reverse lights are full LED, however the turn signals are incandescent bulbs. I don't know why they did that. They could have gone full LED all the way around. It would have looked really sharp, but you do have that super aggressive check mark design that the previous IS had. They carried that over, but made it a little bit more angular. Down here, because this is a F Sport, you have this gloss black bumper here that almost looks like a diffuser once you get over here. True dual exhaust on both sides, chrome tip, which is nice. And then you do have this really nice reflector built into the edge of the bumper. So overall, a really clean design. I do like the fact that the parking sensors are going to be paint matched there. And then the Lexus emblem, kind of tiny, but it hides right there. And you do have your backup camera here. And the actual light bar piece of the taillight is actually surrounded in gloss black. So kind of cool. Interested in why they chose to do that. I think it's a really good contrast to the car. And then you do have this really tiny spoiler, which aesthetically looks really nice. I don't know if it's really going to change anything performance wise, but you guys let me know if y'all think it will. But make note, look at this. It just angles and this whole trunk just bulges. The whole trunk is a giant bulge. So in saying that, overall a really good look, and I think they aced the design of this car. Finally is a really good looking car. So I'm sitting in the back seat of the Lexus IS, and this is definitely a compact luxury sedan, and the space shows. Headroom wise, I'm good there, but this seat is where I would personally sit myself, and you can see me being 5'9", my knees are very close to the back of the front seat, which yes, I'm comfortable, but if you have anybody taller than me, that might become an issue. But let's take a look at what else is going on back here so that way you guys can see. So going into the back seat, you can notice this leather that is beautiful, carries over from the front, mostly this white kind of ivory color with the black outboarding here, which looks really cool. Contrast stitching, it is perforated, which is nice. You do have vents for the rear seats, but they are not rear heated seats. On the door card, you can see a little bit of the economy from the Toyota side is showing through. You got a plastic button here for the lock switch. The door handle's finished in this metal finish, which is nice. Soft touch plastic here, which is also pretty nice. This is hard plastic, so just make note of that if you look at these. This area feels like a mix between a hard plastic and a leather, and then this part is definitely leather, and as you can see, the white goes into the door card. You have a textured finish here. I don't really know what to call this. And then the button for the window is just blank. I mean, you know it's there, but it's just blank. You do have a standard speaker for the sound system in the rear, but it is kind of cool. I like this little two-tiered thing. It's a little different, but I do like it. One thing I do want to make note, the back of the front seats are actually full leather, so I do like that. They didn't cheap out there. And you do have map pockets on not only that one, but the passenger side as well. And then don't forget, you can put this out, and then you can actually, if I can figure this out, oh, come on, there we go. There we go. Push the little button and you do expose more cup holders back here, and then just bring it back up, and you have full space there, and the seats do fold down if you want to. So really nice. So we're in the Lexus IS. I'm actually going to start this, and I want to show you something. Look at the gauge there. Watch this. Startup screen, really cool. Super cool. Look at that. That's a physical piece, guys. That's not this little silver outer rim thing. That's not digital. That is an actual moving piece in the gauge cluster. Really cool. You have your infotainment screen here, which is very similar to other Lexus models. You have a huge auto dimming mirror here with HomeLink on the bottom, which is also a nice touch. You are going to have other things down here to make note of, like gloss black surrounds everywhere. You do have soft touch plastics. Again, the Toyota does shine a little bit here. You do have a nice analog clock with almost a carbon fiber look to it, which is really neat. Other things to make note here. So if you notice, there's no physical button for this. It is actually touch, okay? But I will say it's incredibly responsive. Probably one of the most responsive climate controls I've ever used in the touch realm. Really nice. Got your fan speeds. Of course, you got automatic if you want it. This car still has a CD player. Make note of that. I don't know of any other new car on the market that has a CD player. In addition to that, you've got hard buttons for the radio, media, seek and track, etc. And you do have a very, very nice metal finish here for the tuning knob and for the power/volume knob. That I really, really like. Down here, plastic buttons here. I really wish they would have gone with even like a metal finish here, but you got heated and ventilated seats in this model. You are going to have not only a CD player, HD radio, and you've got your Sirius XM. Of course, automatic transmission. Everybody's familiar with the Lexus gear lever there. And then of course you do have your different drive modes here, which is really nice. And yes, when you change drive modes, you can definitely get a different digital output there. Okay, so just make note of that. You are going to have snow mode, traction control off, and then this is your auto hold feature. In addition to that, you have your trackpad still to control the infotainment system if you want. They still have that, and yes, this gives haptic feedback. Got your menu button, home button if you so desire, and then you do have your back button here. So in addition to that, got a button here. It's a pretty standard interior. This is where I think this car should have been remodeled the most, just because they could do so much better with this infotainment system. Lexus has already been grilled about it. I don't know what they plan on doing regarding it, but again, if you can look past this and you love the exterior of the car and the, of course, Toyota reliability, then you should be fine. Start stop button is actually really cool. It's up here, which is kind of an interesting spot, but it is finished in metal and it feels amazing. The dash itself, it's definitely not real leather. It's kind of this hard plastic. This part is definitely real padded leather, which is nice, but I'm just interested in the difference in material decision by somebody. But overall looks really nice. Circular vents, of course, you're gonna get that on both sides, which is really nice. It almost reminds me of old Italian cars. And then the steering wheel itself, perforated, which is really nice, leather wrapped. Lexus logo emblazoned on the airbag, of course. And this is one of their common steering wheels, and what I mean by that is this one's definitely a carryover steering wheel. It's due for redesign. And then notice on the buttons, they're all plastic, fantastic, but they feel good. But this is the economy side of the car showing. You do have these gear shifters for the gear levers rather, or paddles as a lot of people call them. Get your minus on this side, plus on this side, so you can roll through your own gears if you want to. And then something that I find really odd is your cruise control is this stalk here. I thought a lot of car companies went away with that. I guess I was wrong. And then that'll be your button to actually change the distance for the smart cruise control. Over here, you're gonna have your illumination, your odometer trip button, and then you got your hood release, your trunk release down here, and then your automatic headlight button here to turn on your auto high beams. And then you do have auto rain sensing windshield wipers in this model, so it's very easy. Just push this button on the end of the stalk and it'll put it in auto mode. So overall, a really nice design. And one thing I actually like about this specific one is that it does not have a sunroof. I find that very cool, because for somebody who might want a little bit more performance out of this car, you have that option. And then of course, lighting, you can see it's just a touch. Boop, 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 boop. Really cool. So LED lighting on the inside, really nice. Let's take a look at the seats. The seats in this thing look absolutely amazing. Probably one of my favorite seats I've ever seen. White with these black inserts just looks so freaking nice. Perforated leather. The seat controls down here are going to be plastic. I wish they were a metal finish, or at least had some pizzazz to them, but they don't. The sport pedals do, however. Don't ask why that's upside down. I have no answers for that. But you do have the sport pedals in this model. And then the door card itself looks really nice. You have this pattern here, which looks really cool. Something that most people might not see, but I do here. And then you can see the speaker grill design. You've got a little bit of storage here. Something small for maybe a small drink. And then outside of that, plastic for the lock switch, plastic for the switches here. None of the window switches are actually marked, which is so interesting. Door handle is metal, which is really, really cool. So overall, I think the interior color combo is so fire in this thing. In the trunk of the IS, you're going to notice there's actually quite a bit of space back here. The seats do fold down, so don't forget about that, but you can see you've got quite a lot of space to work with back here. And then up here on the trunk, you've got your emergency release. You do have a cool little handle there to make it easy to pull this thing down. And then that is actually going to be the small release for the trunk. So when it's down, just press that. It's an electronic release. So overall, nothing much to see here, but for all you guys wondering, there's a lot of accessories in this thing, but you do have tie downs and things like that underneath. Poking around, you've got your spare tire kit underneath as well, so you'll be happily taken care of. Okie dokie, we are actually in, trying to put this down. I use my phone to control my GoPro, if you guys ever wonder why I always like started off like this. We are in the 2021 Lexus IS350. So this car is more so an evolution of the previous gen. I don't know if this is considered new generation, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more of an evolution. So let's talk numbers, right? Because that's what people really want to know. This car that I'm in stickers at $45,000, so it definitely undercuts the Germans, but is it worth the undercut? And again, based on some of the things that I've shown to you guys, you know, that's up for y'all to really make that decision for yourself. Now for me, not gonna lie, the looks of this thing win compared to the Germans. I'm gonna be honest. The things that don't win me over are the more plastics in here, and then the lack of an exotic powertrain. So let's talk powertrain, right? So this is a 3.5 liter V6. You've got 311 horsepower, which is a pretty good number, and you do have 280 foot-pounds of torque. So it's a pretty decent number for a naturally aspirated engine. However, the transmission in this thing does not really help put that power to the ground efficiently, right? So the automatic they have here is so long in terms of its gearing that 0 to 60 is not comparable. 0 to 60 in this one, as rated, is about 5.7 seconds. 5.7 seconds. That's not too impressive in the world of sports sedans in this category, especially not in the 6-cylinder model. But they are fixing that with the IS500, which hits 6 in about 4.7. Again, I don't know if that's necessarily enough to make a difference, but c'est la vie. Now, first things first, this is actually a stiffer ride than I thought it would be. But it's pretty quiet for the type of car it is. It does have sportier tires and wheels, I understand that, but it's decently quiet. Now, steering wise, steering is not that direct in this car. It's very floaty. You can tell that this is definitely supposed to be a more comfortable drive than it is aggressive. So this is a car, if you want the aggressive looks without having an aggressive drive, this is the car to get, okay? Now, as far as material qualities, everybody knows Lexus is up there in terms of material qualities. Yeah, they use a lot of plastic, but the plastic is at least high quality plastic. The car feels really good. It is rear-wheel drive, it's not front-wheel drive. Ooh, that's awesome. So one thing I'm gonna make note is the brake feel in this car feels amazing. I love the brake feel. That's something weird to talk about, but I love the brake feel. As far as the power delivery, it's a naturally aspirated V6, but again, the transmission, I believe this might be a 6 or 8 speed automatic, but the way that it's geared, it just doesn't help the car. They really need to up the ante when it comes to their transmission choice. Not because it's unreliable or anything like that. These cars are bulletproof. Everybody knows that. You don't need to say it. But the fact of they need to get more performance out of these cars. Okay? That's just going to be the elephant in the room. And take it as you will. I will say the engine does sound pretty decent. It's still on the quieter side, but again, this isn't like a full-fledged performance model. It's an F Sport. It gives you the sportiness without, again, the kill your face performance aspect. Now, what I will say is visibility in this thing, it's actually pretty good. I think because these front windows and these doors are actually pretty big. Bigger than I thought, but still looks really nice. So overall, I think it's a really, really nice car. Definitely love the way that the suspension is complacent. Yeah, the suspension is pretty tight on this thing, which is really nice. Very firm, but it eats up all the bumps. And there's no body roll in this thing. I just wish they gave it tighter steering. I'm gonna put it in sport mode, see if that fixes anything. I'm not gonna be hell-bent on it fixing anything. Oh, wow. Okay. So sport mode really does make a difference in this thing. Steering wise, not much of a difference, but as far as transmission reaction time, quite a bit. Oh my goodness. Wow. Not bad. Makes it really fun, actually. This could be potentially a fun car to drive. Wow. This is nice. Gonna miss that pothole. Now I'm gonna try using the shifters because, let's see. Not fast in terms of shift. That time it was, holy cow. Maybe it had to catch up with itself. Yeah, the shifts are faster now. Yeah, I mean, 8-speed automatic. I'm gonna actually turn this around. This actually does feel very fun without thinking you're gonna break something, which is a good feeling. But overall, I do think this car is definitely geared more for comfort than it is aggression, and it shows. But that's the whole Lexus philosophy. Okay, they don't want you on a full-fledged sports car like this unless you get, say, an IS500 that is coming out soon, or like an LC 500, or if you want to go really crazy, the LFA. See, I don't even know if I want to say quick because it doesn't really feel quick. For a car with 311 horsepower, this thing should definitely pick up way more than it does. It really should, but it doesn't. So it might leave a little bit to be desired in that realm. Overall, I think if you're looking for something that's reliable, sporty, aggressive looking, but you don't want anything that'll kill you, not only at the bank, maintenance, or in terms of drivability, this is the perfect car. It gives you all that. It gives you a lot of amenities for the money, but you don't have to spend 60, 70K. So overall, I think this is a very, very good buy in its class. Again, I have my own opinions on the interior, but you guys form your own. So leave some comments down below on what you think of this car. And again, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate the support. Hit subscribe if you like the content that you're seeing, and hit that bell so that way you get alerts every time I release a video. So in saying that, I'm gonna finish up this test drive, and I'll see you on the next review.